I would just like to say I want to apologize for some of the shaky camera footage. We were filming it outside. There was neighbors around, and so there may be some background noise and some shaky camera footage, and I just wanted to apologize for that up front.
Hey everybody, Grimclaws here. Sorry, just making a little fun of Michael from Vsauce. I know he loves to pop up. Anyways, we're doing a review on the Bluline Elite 10 scooter today. And as you all know, my name is Grimclaws. I do reviews on the big 3 Ps. People, person, wait, that's the same thing. People, puzzles, and products. But I also do video game reviews, and I also do video or reaction videos. I also play Hearthstone competitively. Everything made from this channel goes back into the channel or the community. So that's my main goal, is to help out my local community, which is a very poor community, as you can see. If Gary, who runs Death Crust Punk Productions, the Emunator / Death Crust Punk Productions, please check out his page. It's a very awesome page, very great old school content, emulator ROMs. It's amazing, the games that he plays on that. So if you just want to pan around the neighborhood to kind of show, you know, it's a below average, poverty stricken kind of neighborhood. We have this in fisheye because we're doing a scooter review. Now the name of this review is going to be Best Scooter for the Price, but 3 Worst Companies to Deal With. And I'll get to that later on my review when we head upstairs. For now, let's focus on the scooter. So this is the Brookstone scooter, all set up and ready to go. To unfold it, unlatch this, fold this up, make sure the kickstand's on, don't pull dumb moves like I do. Oh, and I forgot to say my tag along. I'm Grimclaws, and my reviews may be grim, but I'm Grimclaws, and I may be grim, but my reviews don't have to be, as long as the product is good. In this case, the product is good, but the companies are horrible. Also, please like and subscribe. Every like, comment, and subscribe really helps the channel and really helps the YouTube algorithm. And please make sure to check out Gary's channel, which will be down in the description. So this is the Brookstone. First, I'll mention it came with no hex key like it was supposed to. It said it had a 500 watt motor, but they had a speed limiter on it for 350 watts. And it came with an instruction booklet that was basically just safety warnings and told you no way how to set it up. The handlebars were detached, the stem was down, and there was other various stuff. So I couldn't check the torque on the screws because they didn't provide the hex key. Luckily, I had my own hex key, so I was able to do installation. Now, if you're wondering what this clip is, this is so when you fold it down, you can clip it into this. This particular model, I found out that if you hold down the brake while starting the scooter, it'll keep it in 350 watt mode, which means they've speed limited it. And the reason they usually do that is because in London, the scooter speed limit is 25 kilometers an hour. So they do that in case of local ordinances. However, if you hold down the throttle and power it on, it'll put it into E4 mode, which ups it to the 500 watt motor. So technically they weren't lying. It does have a 500 watt motor. They just set it at 350 upon factory and hope you don't figure out how to override it to 500 watts, which I did in a couple seconds. If I'm wrong on that, since it's only an E3 and E4 code, and someone actually knows the meaning of those specifically, if you want to comment down below and correct me, then that's fine, but I'm pretty damn sure that's what it means. So, to start her up, you hold down the power button for 2 seconds. We got a nice LED display. If you want your lights on, you press the power button twice. There. Now if you can see it, I'll turn towards you. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but I have a nice bright LED headlight. Also, if we flip this around back, I have a nice LED tail light, and if you use the brake, it actually pulses for a brake light. So those are your 3 lights. So that's 2 clicks to get the lights on. 1 click will change your gears. So first gear is on a 350 watt motors between 5 and 9 miles per hour, and gear 2 is between 10 and 16 miles per hour, and that limits the throttle. But on 500 watt mode, especially since the load limit on this is 264 pounds and I weigh 217, I am 48 pounds under the heavy load limit. So that means I can get this going a lot faster since I've removed the speed limiter and have it in miles per hour. However, if you do want to change from miles per hour to kilometers, just hit the power button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. You got to do it fast. So now it's on kilometers per hour. Back 2 miles per hour. And to switch from gear 1 to gear 2, whether you're in 350 watt mode or 500 watt mode, which I explained how to change, just hit the button once. And to turn on the lights, that's twice. Always keep your lights on even during the day because there is reflectors on the sides, and also the strobing brake light helps people know that you're stopping. Now when it comes to stopping, there's 2 main things you want to realize. One is when you're slowing down, just use the drum brake. This has a front drum brake, an electric back brake, and also a fender brake for pressure. It also utilizes a little bit of regenerative braking and has 10-inch honeycomb tires, so they'll never go flat. Now with that said, you can't just hit the throttle. I'm hitting the throttle right now. Is it going anywhere? No. You have to kick it up to 3 miles an hour, and that's what most electronic scooters do. The ones that accelerate from a dead start are called zero starts, and those are a bit more expensive. We'll get into the prices later when I move upstairs for the final part of the review. So basically, let's get this thing moving. It's fully charged, the lights are on. Like I said, always keep them on during the day. Even though you can barely see the LED light during the day, the brake light and the reflectors you can. The reflectors are on all the time, obviously, but the tail light you can. And the most important part about it is when you're braking, it flashes, so people know you're slowing down. And so always keep your lights on. Always wear protective gear. I got my sunglasses and my sweatband. That's as best as I could do. I'm sorry for not wearing a helmet for all you helmet advocates out there. And finally, stopping. If you just want to slow down, just apply slight pressure to the drum brake, because that'll slowly slow you down. But if you want to come to a complete stop, you need to fully compress the drum brake, which controls the front, and fully press down on the fender stop, because that'll slow the tires down at an equal speed so that you don't endo over the handlebars or wheelie off the back. So here we go. I'm going to kick this kickstand up. It's my first time riding it, so if I fall on my ass, hopefully it goes viral and it'll become internet gold. We're going to see. I'm going to ride non-goofy stamp footage. I'm going to push off to 3. I'm going to accelerate. If Gary would just walk down here, you can get a shot of me riding down the concrete. And that should wrap it up, and I'll finish the review of this. There's a little bit of a learning curve. So as you can see, when I stopped with that, not only did I depress the front drum brake, but I shifted my weight back. You almost want to shift, whenever you're stopping, you want to shift into a position almost like you're about to sit. So leaning back on the scooter, because what that does is reduces push and pull on the handlebars. If you're riding an electric scooter and you realize that most of your weight and balance support is coming from the handlebars, that means you're doing it wrong. Basically, your legs should be doing all the balancing work. And when you stop, always get into a quasi-sitting position, but don't actually sit down. Just bend back like this and put weight on the back wheel so you don't endo over the front. And like I said, to slow down is fine just to use the one drum brake or the one fender brake. But when you're coming to a stop, it is very important to utilize both the drum brake and the fender brake, as it slows down both tires at the same time. If you were to just jam on the drum brake, you'd endo and go over the handlebars. If you were to just jam on the fender brake, you'd wheelie and fall off backwards. So when you come to an emergency stop, definitely use both brakes. It gives you, see, Gary can zoom in on this real quick and then we'll wrap it up. I appreciate Gary's time, and definitely check out his channel, really great content. I don't know if we can see this in the sun. Is that showing up?
Nah, let's go in the... Oh, kind of.
Or maybe we can go into a more shaded area. Let's try over here. As well, you can just use it as a regular kick scooter. Like, you don't actually have to use the motorized version if you don't want to. You know, if you want to save a little speed. Is that showing up any better?
Oh, that's better.
Okay, so this is what I mean. One button will change your gears. P1, that'll keep me between under 9 miles per hour. And this one will keep me 10 and above. And this is what I'm talking about. Like I said, 2 for lights. You'll get a light indicator that's off, now on. And 3 will change kilometers per hour to miles per hour. So that is how that works. One button system. This is what I want to tell you about overriding the 350 watt limitation they set at manufacturing. So power it off. Now if I were to start it up right now with the throttle down, it would show you, shit, sorry, let me redo that again. It would show you,
we're talking about,
sorry about my neighbor in the back, she's,
oh my god.
anyways, it shows E4. That means it's set for 500 watts. And I've removed the speed limiter of the 350 watt speed limitation, which they do for London rules and certain state rules. But if I were to shut this off again and hold this brake down, like if you just want to use a 350 watt motor, turn it on, and as you can see, now it's an E3. That's 350 watt motor mode. So I like to go fast. I'm one of those people. I like to go fast. I'm Fast and Furious. I'm one of my favorite franchises. So I'm going to turn this back off. I'm going to power it back up. As you can see, it's back on E4. So I've removed the speed limiter. It's at 500 watts now. And with me being 46 pounds lighter than the max load, and having the full 500 watts, I can probably crank this thing up to 20-25 miles per hour and 20 miles per charge. And it only cost me $3.99. I did get the protective 3-year warranty though. It's only $30 and I highly recommend getting it. The 4-year may be a little excessive. It's like $50, but the 3-year for $34 is very good. The reason why is it covers normal wear and tear. So, since this has a drum brake, it has pads on the inside which go out against the drums and create friction to slow down the wheel. And this fender brake, after you step on it enough times, is obviously going to break. And this padding right here is already starting to unglue, and I've only had it one day. I'm going to have to grill it, glue it back down. So you can ride this like she's wet and ready to go, ride the devil out of it, and then in 2.5 years have the thing completely replaced with a new one or completely repaired. 3 years from now and have a brand new scooter, you know, basically because of you spend an extra $34. So I highly recommend getting that plan. So I'm going to put the kickstand down, which is a little bit easier said than done with sandals on. Sorry, I'm just going to use my hand because I stupidly wore sandals. It's a very rugged kickstand. It will not fall over, trust me. To fold it, Gary wants to come around the front. You simply press this latch in, which does this latch. You slowly fold down the handlebars, lean them to the left a little bit, and this hook right here will actually hook right in there. And then you can just pick it up and go. Weighs 33 pounds, completely portable. One thing you want to keep in mind though is if you're going to work or something, that's fine. You have a place to stow it. But if you're going to like the convenience store or the hardware store where I have to go later, you obviously can't bring a 33-pound scooter in with you. So make sure you invest in a high either a high steel, high grade U-lock, you know, with the screws on each side so you can U-lock it to a post, or at least, at the very least, get a bike chain. Protect your investment. Because like I said, with that extra $34 spent on the 3-year protection plan, you're basically going to get a brand new scooter in 3 years from now for free. So this is going to last you a long time. This electric scooter only cost me $399 with the 3-year extension. That added another $34. Tax came to $455. I rounded up to do charity for wildlife, so it came to $456 even. Now, compared to a lot of other scooters, obviously I know there's like, what is it, the Evolve or E-Ride Wildcat that can go 70 miles an hour and 60 miles on a charge and hold up to 350-pound person. That's gonna basically cost you thousands of dollars. In Maine, as long as you're riding a scooter that's under 50 cc's, you don't have to register, insure it, or inspect it, and you can drive it on the roads. Now, I don't know if new legislation will be coming out, because how do you match up an electric motor to a motor, an internal combustion engine? Because those are measured in cubic centimeters of compression space, and this is measured in watts. So you can get a electric motor that goes way faster than a 49cc motor, gasoline piston motor. So regulations may be coming down the line, but for now there's not. Just make sure you wear your safety gear. Read the instructions first. Make sure you do the setup if they actually give you setup instructions. I'm going to get to the whole company aspect of this upstairs. Gary's helping me with just the ride footage and the show footage, and I really appreciate that. I can't express enough how grateful I am to him for filming this, and to please check out the Emunator / Death Crust Punk Productions and subscribe to his page. You will see vintage ROMs, games that you like played when you were young, and you're like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Playthroughs, you get to listen to awesome music, you get to listen to Gary, and he's very amusing, great sense of humor, good commentary. He puts out very quality videos, and he's got a good following too. So that link will be down in the description, or just look for the Emunator / Death Crust Punk Productions. So that'll wrap up this first part of the interview, and I will get to why this is called Best Scooter for the Price, Worst 3 Companies to Deal With when I get upstairs. So until then, this is Grimclaw signing off, and I will see you in a few. Hey guys, Grimclaw's here. Part 2 of the scooter review. So I've been screwing around with it a little bit, and I guess what I said in the first part wasn't correct. I talked to some people online, I talked to some people on some electronic bike forums. I certainly didn't get any help from the companies, and I'll explain more of that in part 3 of this. It'll actually just be one long video, but you'll notice me in different backgrounds and notice that it's, segmented into 3 parts. So actually, the E3, E4 thing I was talking about, those are just error messages. It's not actually switching it from 350 watt mode to 500 watt mode. And there's no way to get it above 16 miles per hour. E3 just means you're holding down the brake while you're turning it on. And so if you try to go, the brake's held down, and it's letting you know that. You let off the brake, everything goes back to normal. E4 just means you're holding down the throttle while you're turning it on. And so if you have 0 start, it won't zoom off and kick off, without you. Crash into something. So, unfortunately, those weren't removing a speed limiter or anything like that. If anybody knows how to do that, remove a speed limiter on a Blue Glide Elite 10 made by Brookstone, please comment down below. I would love to know. Also, the cruise control is supposed to kick in after 6 seconds. I've ridden it for sustained speeds of over 5 minutes and it hasn't kicked in. So if anybody knows how to toggle the cruise control on or off, or thinks it just may be broken, also please comment down below. And finally, there's a Bluetooth icon. If anyone knows how to access that, please comment down below. There's nothing in the instructions about any of this stuff, and you'll learn more about what the big problem is with the companies and trying to find this information in coming up later in the video, so just stay tuned for that. As for now, I just wanted to update that, yeah, those error codes are not switching the motor or doing anything fancy. They're just plain error codes. Basically, it's a 500 watt motor, but they rated it 350. And basically, what that means is it can max out up to 500 watts for torque. You know, any vehicle uses the most torque in two different times, either starting to accelerate from a complete stop or going up a hill. And so basically it can max itself out at 500 watts help to go up a hill, or 500 watts to start moving from a solid stop. And then after a certain amount of time it drops down to 350 watts to conserve energy, which makes sense, because if you're already going 16 miles per hour and that's as fast as you can go, then, you know, why keep it at 500 watts? If there was a speed limiter to remove and you could go faster than 16 miles per hour, then it would make sense to keep it at 500 watts. But if there is none on this model, like I said, if somebody knows if there's a way to remove a speed limiter for the Brookstone Bluline Elite 10 electric scooter, then please comment down below. Or if you just know if there is or isn't one. If there isn't one, please just let me know there isn't a speed limiter on this model. And if there is one, please let me know how to remove it. And, you know, then I can test it out at higher speeds and give a better review from that angle. Also, like I said, accessing the Bluetooth and the cruise control. If anyone knows how to toggle those on or off, or thinks mine just might be defective, please let me know down in the comments. Anyways, I just wanted to give this quick part 2 update of the electronic scooter review, and I will be seeing you guys shortly in the upcoming part. So like I said, it won't be a different video, it'll just be the same video, but I'm going to say goodbye in each segment so you'll know which each segment is. So for now, Grim Claws, I love you guys, all you Grim Legion members. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep watching the video on till the end, and share it to all the social media sites you possibly can. Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, Facebook, you name it, share it. It'll help the community grow, and then we can help the community back. That's all, you know, I really want, and that's, you know, something that could be really nice for the community, just to give back to them. So love you guys, and you'll see me soon. Just keep watching. Bye. Hey everybody. If I look like a mess, it's because I just got off a ride from the new electric scooter, and I'm ready to give my final opinions on it. So I know this has kind of come in 3 segments. You know, the first impressions, the trying to figure out what's going on and different codes and stuff, and then, you know, actually using it for a few times. So I've driven it to work, which is about 5 to 6 miles away, about 3 or 4 times now. So it's about a 12-mile round trip, and I have somewhere between a quarter and half a battery left when I get back. So the 20-mile range is accurate. However, this scooter was manufactured supposedly by Brookstone, but if you go to Brookstone's website, they don't even have a category for scooters. So it's more than likely some Chinese company built this scooter and Brookstone just stamped their name onto it to sell it. They then wholesale it through Hardline LLC to Walmart, where you end retail buy it at walmart.com. So customer service is a nightmare. They sent it to me with pretty much instructions that only tell you what not to do with the battery, and had no instructions on how to set it up. Literally, they told you how to turn it on, how to turn the lights on, how to switch from kilometers per hour to miles per hour. That's it. They don't tell you how to access the Bluetooth or how to turn the cruise control on or off. They actually just say the cruise control is supposed to kick on after 6 seconds, but I have ridden it now to work and back, like I said, which is about 6 miles each way. And there's some stretches where I'm at 16 miles, which is top speed on the scooter, for over 4 to 5 minutes at a time, and the cruise control doesn't kick in. So it's either off or they sent it defective. They didn't send a hex key with it. The handlebars are loose, and the handlebar screws are stripped. So even if they did send a hex key, I couldn't fix the wobbly handlebars
because of the stripped screws. So honestly, when it comes to the review of this, I give it a Grim Claws of 2 claws. The reason I'm only giving it 2 is because it's super fun to ride. I mean, it cruises, it's got honeycomb tires, it's sweet. Had they sent it with working cruise control, working Bluetooth, non-stripped handlebar bolts, a hex key to actually fit the bolts, to tighten them in case they weren't stripped, and instructions on how to put the thing together so you don't have to guess, then it probably would have gotten a 4 out of 5. And I only would have deducted 1 claw because obviously there's scooters out there that, you know, go 32 miles per hour, 60 miles on a single charge. So it gets better. I'm not going to give it a perfect score, obviously. For the money, it does what it says it's going to do. But it only gets the 2 claws for the fun of riding it. It gets negative 3 claws for missing the hex key, instructions that don't tell you how to put it together, wobbly handlebars, and stripped handlebar screws. So like I said, even if they did send you the hex key, you couldn't fix the wobbly handlebars because the screws are stripped. So I'm going to have to send this back. Luckily I got the 3-year protection plan. I just didn't think I'd have to be sending it back within the first 2 weeks. So I'll send it back. I'll get a new one with everything working, a hex key, tightened up handlebars, and bolts that aren't stripped, so in case it loosens up I can tighten it up myself. And everything will be fine at that point. But still, because of the experience and the chain of companies that you literally have to go through, Brookstone, their customer service center is literally down because of COVID. The emergency is already declared over, and it's a telecom service. Like, it's a customer service telephone answering company. You can literally do that from home. You can do that remote. Like, you don't need to shut down. I don't even think they have one. They literally direct you to a website that it's like Southern Telecom something that you call, which tells you their call center is shut down. It directs you to a website, which is just a feeder site for justanswers.com. And then they ask you to sign up to justanswers.com for $5 so you can ask an expert. I mean, really? That's their customer service. Hardline LLC knows nothing about the scooter because they just wholesale it. They get it from Brookstone and they send it where it needs to be sent for Walmart, who is the end retailer for it, who advertises for it and gets you to buy it, basically. And that's that. So luckily I got the protection plan, the 3-year protection plan for $30. I didn't think I'd have to be sending it back within the first 2 weeks, but I want working cruise control because it really cramps my thumb when it's not working. I want working Bluetooth, you know, in case I have to do firmware upgrades on it or something like that. I don't want my handlebars to be wobbly. I want the hex key they promised me just because, well, hell, I paid for it. And I want to be able to tighten up the screws on the handlebars in case they become wobbly. And I would want the hex key that they promised me to be able to do that, and screws that aren't stripped so that I could do that. Or for them just not to loosen up in the first place. But having redundancy would be good. So overall, like I said, the fun ride of the experience and the cheap price, give it 2 claws out of 5 Grim Claws. But it gets -3 for everything else. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, don't waste your money. You're just going to end up sending it back probably a few times if you get the protection plan. And if not, you're just out of money and you got a lemon. So, final review, don't buy it. Unless you get the protection plan. And then buy it and be prepared to, you know, get as many new scooters as you want. I mean, I guess you could look at that as an advantage. I can ride this thing till it's dead and, you know, face down in a ditch as many times as I want in the next 3 years and just keep getting a new scooter. So you can look at that as a plus. But like I said, if that's not your goal and, you know, you don't want to go through all that, I'm kind of already in that situation, so that's probably what I'll do, is just keep riding it hard and just keep getting a new one every couple of months. And hopefully the new ones come with, you know, everything working, cruise control, Bluetooth,
handlebars that are tight come with a hex key, and the handlebar screws aren't stripped. So if they do loosen up, I can tighten them with the hex key. You know, the 3 problems that I can't fix right now. But if you're not into all that extra work and, you know, just sending it back and getting a new one and really taking advantage of the warranty plan, or don't want to pay the $30 for the 3-year extended warranty, then I just recommend not wasting your money. Save up your money, buy something from Evolve Motors for like $1,400. Those things go like 36 miles per hour top end in sports mode. They go like 60 miles on a charge. They have tubeless pneumatic air tires. They're amazing. So yeah, don't go cheap. Just save up your money and get a better one, basically. So sorry, but yeah, once again, 2 claws out of 5. Thank you to the Grim Legion for watching this extended review, and I will have a review coming up on my Bluetooth headphones, which are, excuse my language, they're fucking amazing. And you're going to want to see that review. So, I will see you guys soon. Please like and subscribe. Down bottom, it really helps. Please share to other social media sites. You know, do what Graham Stephan says and annihilate that like button for the YouTube algorithm. That would be fantastic. So please do all that. Please share it to social media, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Tumblr, Reddit, anywhere you can share it. Facebook, just all over the place. Let's try to spread Grim Claws and Grim Claws reviews over the planet so that we can help the community. That's the goal. All right, love you guys. Grim Claws out.